Our next speaker is a former president of this club. He's the Republican State Committee man from Palm Beach County. He's an author of a book called Wake Up America, and author of another book coming out in 4 or 5 weeks, titled Wake Up America, Please. Our own state committee man and former president, Peter Feynman.
Very much. I feel like being there is like coming home again. I was president of this club for a long time. And Margie, you're doing a great job with it. And let's give Margie a round of applause. By the way, Jack has a great blog on the Sun Sentinel. I don't know if anybody's aware of it or not. But you should, how do we get that on a regular basis if we're not getting it now? Any other one? Okay, so see Jack afterwards and he'll get you on his blog. He writes great pieces. Please keep eating while I'm talking. I'm a lawyer. I'm used to being ignored and interrupted, so it's not a problem. In fact, my words are kind of a good follow-up to Lori's words. So I wanted to, it could be kind of a downer, so let's have a little levity in the meantime here. So I'll tell you a lawyer joke. Why do they bury lawyers 20 feet under the ground after they die? The answer is because deep down they're good guys. That's true. That's very true. And another positive note, Lori, I read the last chapter of the book that you're referring to, and we win.
Amen.
Okay, so there you go. Yes, I did write a book called Wake Up America, and nobody woke up. So I wrote another one. It'll be out in about 4 to 6 weeks. And what I want to do tonight is just give you an excerpt from that book. And when I do this excerpt, I want you to know that all of the facts that I report in here are true. I am predicting, if you take the facts that I report to their logical conclusion, I am predicting an unhappy ending for life as we know it. So it's not all true because it hasn't happened yet. But the purpose is to get you, now you already think. I don't have to say the purpose of it is to get you to think, because you wouldn't be here if you weren't already thinking people and intelligent people. But if we can, by the information that we share with you tonight in the make-believe story that may not be so make-believe in the near future, if we can get you to take the next step, talk to your friends and neighbors, and at the end we can show you how not only the glorious organization, but Tom Trento and others can show you how to get more involved in taking this, because the changes that we are going to have to affect are going to have to come from the bottom up. So with that said, start my clock now. Yeah, you would be so kind because I did time and I come within time. This is the logical result, what I'm about to deliver to you, of the policies that we see being enacted by our the present president. Here we go. The world was fed up with America's intolerant, warlike foreign policy. The Zionist Christian warlords in America believed that they were invincible. Promising change, the Democrat candidate for president in 2008 represented a new direction for America. 52% of the people bought into it, and they voted the so-called aggressors out of office. The new president immediately began to radically reshape America's foreign and domestic policy. His Department of Homeland Security published a national security memo warning all law enforcement agencies to be on the lookout for radical right-wing extremists. Police were warned that returning veterans could pose a threat to our security. Pro-life groups, anti-gun control citizens, and those that oppose America's open border immigration policies also pose a danger to America's security, the report said. In foreign policy, the Pentagon, seeing which way the political winds were blowing, has now banned the use of the words jihad or radical Islam or Islamofascist in its daily briefings and official documents. The war on terror, as all of you know, has been discarded for the more politically correct overseas contingency operation. Let me just digress for a second, Jack, take me off the clock. I have a son who is a second lieutenant in the United States Marine Corps. Guess what? He is not going to go to Afghanistan for an overseas contingency operation. He is going to Afghanistan to protect the vital interests of the United States by facing radical Islam right defense. Getting back to the new book. The new president gave his first TV interview on Al Jazeera TV. He made his first overseas state visit to a Muslim country. He met with the leader of Iran and hugged Hugo Chavez while accepting Chavez's gift of a book that highlighted, in that author's view, the Western world's history of 500 years of oppression of minorities. The American people fell deeper into their slumber while radical Islam prepared for war. Of 2010, the new president announced plans to withdraw all troops in any locations which were deemed hostile to the Muslim community. It was now commonly believed, especially in the State Department, that Muslim violence against Americans was simply the result of American military presence in Muslim countries. Iranian President for life, Ahmadinejad, praised the administration for its clear vision and sound judgment. Unknowing Americans rejoiced as the new administration brought peace with honor to the United States, or so it thought. America's new administration was lauded by the press for restoring America's respect abroad, and on September 30th, 2011, the last C-5A Galaxy carrying the last company of combat troops left the small oil-rich country in the Middle East. By December 6th, 2011, it had almost been 3 years since the Democrat Party had been in control of Congress, the White House, and by then, the United States Supreme Court, due to the retirement of 2 justices, one in 2009, one in 2010. Americans had become supremely competent in their exercise of good judgment in electing a leader espousing peace. Most Americans were proud of their government again, wrongly believing in the importance of America being a respected world citizen. That united the voters in 2008 and launched the new president and his party into power. Most Americans in and out of government had long since forgotten a report by the New York Times on March 31st, 2007. There, the Inspector General's office, in charge of protecting American technical secrets about nuclear weapons, reported that it was missing 20 desktop computers. In fact, it was the 13th time in 4 years that an audit found the department, whose national laboratories and factories did most of the work in designing and building nuclear warheads, had lost control of the computers used in working on those bombs. Nobody seemed overly concerned back then, as apparent peace and feel-good rhetoric overshadowed any concerns for national security. It took the thieves about 4 years to perfect the designs they had taken. Late in the evening of December 6, 2011, a junior analyst in the National Security Agency was going over routine satellite images of ship movements in the Atlantic and the Pacific within 100 miles of America's coast. The analyst thought he saw something unusual, so he calls the supervisor at home. "Look," he said, "I'm emailing you photos of vessels I have been watching." He said, "Look at the boats. They look like fishing trawlers. They've been moving in along shipping lines for several days, along from the South Pacific to the West Coast and up from Venezuela toward the East Coast. They're small and slow, but if you plot their courses, it appears they will all approach our coastlines at about the same time." The supervisor, upset at being disturbed at home about fishing trawlers, dismissed him. "They're fishing boats, don't worry about it."